And welcome to tutorial 13, which is the fourth tutorial on Core 3 Trigonometry. Taking a look at the syllabus here, what we've previously done, we have introduced trigonometry. We know what sec, cosec and cot are. We know the relationships between them and sine, cosine and tan, and we know their graphs. We also have used degrees and radians to measure them and draw their graphs. We've talked about in the last video how to simplify expressions involving them and how to prove some identities. Here we're going to solve some simple trigonometric equations involving these three trigonometric functions, okay, before we move on to the other stuff down here. So we're going to do that via some examples. Solving the interval 0 to 360, sec theta is equal to minus 2.5. Well, in order to do this, you revert to what the definition of sec theta is. Sec theta is 1 over cos theta. So if you know that 1 over cos theta is minus 2.5, or minus 2.5 over 1, you know therefore that you can flip this to both these sides of the equation, and you know that cos theta is 1 divided by minus 2.5, which is equal to minus 0.4, negative 0.4. Okay, then you can find the first value of theta. Theta is therefore the inverse cos, when your calculator is in degrees mode, of negative 0.4. And if you do that, inverse cos of negative 0.4, you should get an answer of 113.58 degrees. You get an answer of 113, let's just put 0.6 degrees for theta. Okay, it's not as simple as that. There may be other values of theta in the interval for which there is a solution. So as always, you draw yourself your cos graph. Okay, your cos graph looks something like this. You label the key points in. This is 90, 180, 270, 360, and of course 0. And you want to find where 113 is. Well, 113 would be like here. Okay, so this would be 113 degrees, 113.6 degrees, let's say. And you want to find anywhere else where the cos graph has the same value. Well, clearly if you draw a line across, there is another value here which would be the same. Okay, now how do we find where that is? Well, this distance here is 113.6 minus 90, that distance there. So if we count back from 270, whatever that is, that's 113.6 minus 90, that's 23.5 degrees that direction. So the next one would be 270 minus 23.5. So the next one would be 270, subtract 23.57 degrees or 6 degrees. So my theta would be 113.6 degrees on one hand, and on the other hand would be 246.4 degrees. And obviously at the end you check you actually got the right answer. So sec of theta, that would be 1 over cos of 113.6. You type that in your calculator. I get almost negative 2.5, and if I type in my calculator 1 divided by cos of 246.4, I also get nearly negative 2.5. So I know I've got the right answers in the range 0 to 360, and I'm done. Okay, next example, example 2, solving the interval 0 to 360 the following. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself what 2 theta is. Firstly, this is defined as tan of 2 theta. 1 over tan of 2 theta is equal to 0.6 over 1, let's say. So therefore, flipping the fraction, tan of 2 theta must be 1 divided by 0.6, which is equal to 5/3. So 2 theta, the principal value of 2 theta is the inverse tan of 5/3. So we do that inverse tan of 5/3 and we get in our calculator 59.04 degrees. Now that's tan 2 theta. We want to find theta, but for now tan 2 theta will do the trick. Let's draw out the tan graph. Now the tan graph looks something as follows. It's 90. There's 180. There's 270. And that would be 360. Now, because we are solving for 2 theta here, and we're going to have to half all the values, let's continue this on because we might get more values, hopefully, than we thought for. 450 would be here. This here would be another 90, which would be 540. I'm just going to actually group all this. Just drawing it a bit smaller to start with, so I could have. I'm just going to draw it a bit smaller so I can actually continue it. That's going to go off there to 630, and finally it's going to finish here at 720. Okay, now 59.4 degrees. Where are the values for that? Well, let's draw it in here. 59. This would be about here, 59 degrees, and there will be other values for it along here. So there will be a value here, a value here, and a value here. So 2 theta, therefore, let's continue on. 2 theta, the principal value is 59.4, but it's 180 plus that, 59.4. So another value for 2 theta is 239.04. Another value for it, plus another 180, would be 419.04. And the last value would be 599.04. So there what 2 theta can be. So theta is half of all of these. So it's 29.5 degrees on one hand. It's 119.5 degrees. It's 209.5 degrees. And it's 299.5 degrees. And they are all the particular values that we get within the required region, and we're done. Now, I've got quite a few questions for you to try yourself. I'd encourage you to pause the video and work through this whole exercise, and then I'll show you the answers at the end. I might pick out a couple of questions that I look a bit tricky to help see where the answer came from, but otherwise it's up to you. So pause the video and work through these. I'll show you the answer in 10 seconds. And the answers to these are as follows. I'll pop the answers up so you can mark them. They are all the answers, so pause the video and do your marking to check you can understand them. Going back to the questions, I might just pick out a few that I think might be worth going through. Why don't I go through maybe this one here? Maybe I'll go through another one. Maybe I'll go through this one here. And lastly, maybe I'll go through one more. Maybe I'll go through this one here. So I might go through 3 very quickly and I'll leave the rest up to you. Okay, so first one. So I'm going to try and solve that, and I'm solving that in the range. I'll just copy these both over now. I'm solving that in the range 0 to 360. So I won't do these just yet, I'll do these later. So I'm solving that for theta between 0 and 360. First thing I do is just use definitions. So cot squared theta, that's cos squared theta over sine squared theta, minus 8 tan theta is sine theta over cos theta, and that's equal to 0. Then what I might do is I might multiply everything by sine squared to remove the sine squared on the bottom here, and so I'd get cos squared theta minus 8 sine cubed theta over cos theta equals 0. Then I might multiply everything by cos theta, so I'd get cos cubed theta minus 8 sine cubed theta equals 0. Then I'd add 8 sine cubed theta to both sides, so I'd get cos cubed theta equals 8 sine cubed theta. And then I might divide both sides by cos cubed theta, so I get 1 is 8 tan cubed theta, and rearranging I get tan cubed theta is equal to 1 over 8. So therefore tan theta taking the cube root is a half. And then I would work out all the values of tan theta which are a half. So I would firstly work out the principal value. Theta is therefore the inverse tan of a half, and I'd see what value that gets me. So the inverse tan of a half, when my calculator's in degrees mode, is 26.6 degrees. So theta is 26.6 degrees, and then I would draw myself a graph and see all the other places where it must be true. So my tan theta graph looks something like this. That's 90, that's 180, 270, and 360. Where else would it equal 26 degrees? Well, there's 26. It would also equal here at 180 plus 26.6 degrees. So the other one would be at 206.6 degrees. So the other theta would be at 206.6 degrees. And that hopefully was the answer to that one. So let's go to our answers for that one there. 26.6 degrees and 207 degrees. Yes, to 3 significant figures. We had that right. I'll just do the 2 more I said I'd do. So this here now, I'm going to rub all this out. I'll do this one. We said we'd do that one. 2 cos squared theta minus 3, 2 cosec squared theta minus 3 cosec theta. And we were doing this between minus 180 and 180. So this is for theta between 180 and negative 180. So we're doing that one there. The first thing I'd do was something like this. I'm going to just delete this over here. I'd factorize out cosec theta. So I'd factorize out a cosec theta, and I'd have 2 cosec theta minus 3 is 0. So on the one hand we have the solution cosec theta equals 0, and on the other we have the solution 2 cosec theta minus 3 is 0. So when is cosec theta equal to 0? Well, it has no solutions. Remember the cosec graph? The 1 over sine graph looks something like this. Remember, it never equals 0. So this here gives us no solutions. So we can ignore that. No solutions. This here, well, we would have ourselves that cosec theta would therefore be 3 over 2. And cosec is 1 over sine. So 1 over sine is 3 over 2, so sine must be 2/3. So theta is the inverse sine of 2/3. And you get yourself 41.8 degrees for theta. Theta is 41.8 degrees. You draw yourself a quick sketch of sine theta, remembering what sine theta looks like between minus 180 and 180. Sine theta looks something like this. So when would you get 41.8 degrees? Well, 41.8 would be here, and you'd also get the same answer if you did 180 minus 41.8, which would be the answer 138.2 2 degrees. So going back to that, let's just check the answer for this one. 2 cos x squared, 41.8 and 138, 41.8 and 138 to 3 significant figures. And the last one, this one here, 2 cot squared theta minus cot theta minus 5 equals 0. Well, we were trying to solve that between minus 180 and 180 again, so I'll quickly show you how to do this one. So theta is between 180 and minus 180. Well, this one's a quadratic in disguise. You try and factorize that. You get 2 cot theta. How would you get this? Can you think of 2 numbers here that multiply up like that? I don't think you're going to get it by factorizing. And you in fact can't factorize, that's not factorizable. So what you do is you use the quadratic formula and you say that cot theta is negative b, which is 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which would be 1, minus 4 times 2 times minus 5, so that would end up being minus 4 times 2 is 8 times minus 5 would be 40, all over 2a, which would be 4. So cot theta will be 1 plus the square root of 41 over 4. That would be one solution for cot theta, and the other hand, cot theta would be 1 minus the square root of 41 over 4. So, therefore, what would tan theta be? Well, tan theta would therefore be the reciprocal of this. It would be 1 plus the square root of 41, and tan theta here would be 4 over 1 minus the square root of 41. So 4 divided by, let's type it in our calculator, 4 divided by 1 plus the square root of 41 would be 0.54. So theta would be the inverse tan of 0.54. Be 28.4 degrees, so theta would be 28.4 degrees. And from this one here, the 4 divided by 1 minus root 41, tan theta would be negative 0.74, so theta would be the inverse tan of negative 0.74, and theta would equal minus 36.5 degrees. Now, that's not all the answers here. We've then got to try and find what other answers there would be. So I'm afraid we've got to keep going here. We've got to draw ourselves a tan graph. And we've got to draw ourselves another tan graph here for these two. Tan goes something like that. That's 90. And tan then comes up here to 180, and tan here goes down there to minus 90, and it comes along here to minus 180. What values do you get the same as 28.4? Well, this one here is the only other one. It would be minus 180 plus 28.4, in which case you get negative 151.6. And this one here, drawing the exact same graph out, looks something like this. Minus 36.5. Where would you get the same values of minus 36.5? Well, you get one the same here. Now at that point there's 180. So it's going to be 180 and then subtract 36.5. And you're going to get yourself 143.5 degrees. And there were 4 answers here for the solution. Theta was 28.4, minus 151.6, minus 36.5, and 143.5. So let's go to our answers and check if we got something like that. 28.4, got it. negative 151.6, negative 152, got it. Negative 36.5 and 144, negative 36.5 and 143 even. And so we got all those particular answers here. So it's quite a complicated one. Okay, and that's all for this particular video. I'd encourage you to make sure you can do all those questions and get the right answers. Read chapter 6, page 91 and look at the examples in the book. Then do exercise 6C on page 92, do questions 5 through 8. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it useful.